Hey, hi, folks. It's a joy meeting this buddy of mine. I've been trying to get him to talk about high blood pressure. And could you introduce yourself? I know you played football before.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Pastor. My name is Ricardo McDonald. I was born and raised in St. Mary, Jamaica, and I came here to the States when I was about 13 years old. I moved to New York and then went to school at the University of Pittsburgh, and I was very fortunate to get a scholarship to go to school, and then from there was able to embark upon an NFL career that lasted about 9 years, and with the Bengals and the Bears and the Broncos.
And so I take it, what did you learn while you were playing football? Discipline or what else?
Yes, so football, taught me a lot. It taught me a lot, and I'm very thankful and I'm very grateful for football because it, number one, taught me discipline. I think it also taught me about the level of awareness. It also taught me the level of being prepared. And all that does is just basically give you a chance in life.
Okay, now you and I have talked a lot on high blood pressure, and I know you have a lot of insight on that. Can you help us when it comes to high blood pressure? What is going on?
Yeah, Pastor, this has been very dear to me because since the year 2000, my dad have had 15 strokes and 7 heart attacks.
Man.
And he's been on blood pressure medication and cholesterol medication. And so I think what most doctors never tell patients is the fact that, if you went to your doctor today and said, what's the root cause of my high blood pressure? He'll say it's essential hypertension, which is basically saying there's no cause for it. Okay. Or he'll tell you that, or she will tell you, it's genetic, it runs in the family.
Okay. Yep.
So genetic, in my estimation, makes up about 25% of our makeup. It's basically, that's the gene that you were given, there's not much you can do about it. But I will say this, that just because genetic is what loads the bullet into the chamber, it takes somebody else to pull it. And so today, we could talk a little bit more about exactly what is triggering a lot of these cascade of different diseases when it comes to high blood pressure.
Now, what's that expression again? Genetic is like bullet? What was that expression?
Yeah, so first you got to come to a level of awareness in my mind, because I think what we do is that we'll just say, my dad has high blood pressure. Like basically, if I would have went to the same route, my father, I should have had the strokes and the heart attacks, God forbid. But what I did was I looked at his life and said, if I do exactly what my father did, lived a very sedentary lifestyle, lived a diet that was highly inflammatory, and also never really took his health, make his health be a priority, then more than likely I would be going down the same trajectory like my father. But I made early on that a fact that I was going to do everything in my power to run away from my dad.
So you do have some control over your health then?
You do. It's in your hands. And I think what we do as people within in this generation is the fact that we make excuses. And so we'll say, it's acceptable. Well, it runs in my family. It runs in my family, which is good. Like I told you before, it's what loaded the bullet into the chamber, but it's not what's pulled the trigger. And so coming to the fact that having a level of awareness in the fact that this disease is completely 100% in your hands.
Okay. Now, what about diet? Because you and I have talked about diet. What's the benefit in diet?
So I'll tell you some numbers, okay? So back in the early 60s, there was something that was introduced to the U.S. It was called fructose. And what you saw was like back in 1980, there was roughly about maybe close to about maybe 3 to 5 million people in the United States live with diabetes. In the next 10 years, by 2035, 62% of every American will be a diabetic. It's the law. It's like a hurricane that's in the Gulf that's just waiting to come ashore. And part of what you've seen is that the more we have became so addicted to fructose, so addicted to sugary products, and we ingested these and not exercising, it's a recipe for disaster.
Okay, now you exercise and you eat right. And so that has helped you over the years.
Correct. Along with rest.
Along with rest? Okay, we need to rest, okay?
Right.
Now, you told me the last time that you went to your doctor and the doctor said, what are you doing? How did that all come about?
Yeah, so I'll share something with you. So back in 2002, I go to the gym like 6 days a week.
I know that. I see you here every time.
Yeah. So, part of with me working out is the fact that I used to always drink protein shakes, and nobody ever said that drinking protein shakes can be number one harmful for your kidneys. So I would go buy my protein shakes, and I would go back after every gym, and I would, maybe drink like 1 gram per pound, or maybe I was drinking at one particular point I was drinking almost like the equivalent of basically 240 big carton, gallon jugs of protein shakes. But nobody ever came and said that that's excessive wear and tear, also excessive pressure that you're putting on the kidneys. And so when I went in, the doctor said, look, you're at stage 2, there's nothing you can do, there's no cure for this. And I think that when someone speaks something into your life, like you can either choose to accept it and move along, or you can go and say, well, this is not what God has for me, and find some different avenues. So what I did was basically went on a warpath, and I was able to jump onto YouTube and find a guy named Mr. Crafty out of Utah.
Okay.
Was able to reverse his kidney disease. And so I basically went on the warpath with his diet and just honed in. And I never drank, I don't smoke, and so on and so forth. So, but the majority of it came from the fact that, and also my blood pressure from time to time. My blood pressure from time to time, because I was a lot bigger back then. I was maybe about 260, 265. And so losing weight was a priority. Honing in on my diet was the number one thing that I think that made a significant difference, as well as me being able to get adequate rest.
Okay. Now, I see you got something here. Let me pull this out, guys. Every time I see this character, I see he was hiding it. But now, how many gallons you drink a day?
I drink 2 gallons.
Wow.
Yeah, this is my second.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's the benefit? So what's the benefit?
Okay. So I'm gonna talk about these four elements, right? Constipation, inflammation, circulation, dehydration. Why is that important for the human body? So circulation is very important because if the blood doesn't get to the heart, you got major problems, called a heart attack or stroke.
Yeah.
If it doesn't get to the brain, it's probably an aneurysm or so on and so forth. Every organ within the body needs blood flow. So circulation. Inflammation. Lowering the inflammation is vital for the simple fact that it'll increase the cortisol level, and it'll also increase the homocysteine level, which is like vital for the body because of the simple fact that, so when you wake up in the morning, if you check your blood pressure, it's a lot higher in the morning than it is in the afternoon, because like overnight you're laying horizontal, and more than likely your homocysteine and your cortisol, these inflammation markers, will shoot up. And so part of what exercising does in the morning, part of what eating an adequate diet in the morning, it lowers the level of inflammation. And so if you check your blood pressure even like to the midday, towards the end of the day, it's a lot lower than what it was in the morning. And it's just for the simple fact that there's more circulation. Circulation of the blood is started taking place. Dehydration.
Okay.
I can't emphasize enough the importance of dehydrating your body. First thing I do when I get up in the morning after I meditate and pray, I have a gallon jug that sits right to my bed.
Yeah, I see it. Every time I see him, he has this.
And I drink a gallon of water. Why is this important? Because of the circulation.
Okay.
The blood has to move. The brain more than anything else. Has about 86 trillion neurons, 400 blood vessels. They need one thing each and every day. Fluid. Makes the whole circulatory system moves. And so on and so forth. So dehydration, you know, for example, my dad right now has dementia. And watching my dad going through this has been really humbling. As I alluded to you earlier, that fact that he has had his heart issues that he has had.
Okay.
But, you know, an event that just happened about maybe 2 weeks ago was that he went to the hospital. And upon going to the hospital, the first thing that they did was put an IV in him. And my twin brother called me and he's like, "Hey, Dad is doing a lot better." I said, "Yeah." You know why? Number one, he's got fluid.
Okay.
He's got fluid flowing through his vein. They gave him like 4 or 5 bags of IV, and it was able to help him. And so, if there's anything I can impart upon you, most individuals today, it's the fact that hydration
Okay.
for the body. I can't emphasize it enough how critical it is.
Okay, that's good to hear. Man, you know a whole lot. So you exercise what, 5 or 6 times a day?
Yeah, a week.
Man, he's out of this world, man. And he dragged me into a class and they're working me out. I'm 65 and I'm trying to make sure I stay in shape like he is. You know?
Yeah, so like when I get done, you know, I'm gonna probably walk sometime. I'll walk every day, like pickleball. But I think the premise behind having a good quality life, because like most people are like, "Oh, when you're gonna die? You're gonna die just like me. It doesn't matter." But yeah, but I mean, like it's how you're able to make the transition. I think it's vitally important. You know, I mean, like I was able to witness my sister's last 2 months on Earth, and I'm telling you, having 15 tubes, a feeding tube, and all these cascade of things that kept her alive for about 4 or 5 days until the doctor just basically said that there's nothing else we can do. We're going to remove the feeding tube, and basically she'll expire within 48 hours. It was probably one of the most humbling thing I experienced back in 2018, but it gave me a reality in the fact that I think most people, we take our health for granted. We just assume that we're just going to get up and we just, whatever you feed the body, it'll grow.
So one of the challenges we have is processed food, because I think I explained to you, one of my cousins, she was on a lot of medication, and she left me and went back home in Africa, and she stayed there for about 6 months, and she got off most of her medication. When she came back to the States, guess what happened? She had to get back on her medication. So the diet, the food, the processed food that we eat is affecting us a lot.
Right. No, I totally agree. I mean, I have a friend that lives in the Netherlands. And from time to time I talk to her, and I'm always talking, like, her dad is 84.
Okay.
And we talk a lot. And I don't know if you know much about the Netherlands, but the majority of the people in the Netherlands, they ride bikes. It's a very, very active country. And she would always talk to me, would always ask her, like, "So what did you have for breakfast today? What is it?" And the majority of everything that she explained to me, that she eats,
Okay.
it's non-fat, it's non-sugar. It's food that's very vital for the body. I mean, it's a lot of fruits. It's kind of what you see with like a Mediterranean diet. A lot of fruits, a lot of nuts, a lot of vegetables, all the things that's nutrients dense for the body.
Okay, that's great. Just want to encourage you guys that as we live our life, the Bible says we live to be 120 years old. So don't listen to this myth that at 70 years old. So you have to make a personal decision as how do you want to age. It has to become a lifestyle. Any word of encouragement you want to give them before we wrap this up? That your health is totally within your hands. You know, ultimately, God has a plan for all of us. Okay.
But ultimately, your earthly destiny is something that's within your grasp, within your control. And I think being able to get a grasp each and every day, knowing exactly who you are, what you are, and start examining is what I did. I started examining what I ate. I grew up eating cow foot,
remember that.
goat head soup. I mean, you name it. But I came to a level of awareness and saying, how does this work with my body?
Okay.
And I think that if you could start do like a self inventory, looking at your health, going to the doctor and getting a full write up as to where you are, and then from there you can start your health journey, and being able to hopefully correct some of the challenges that you're facing each and every day.
I want to thank Ricardo for this good pep talk, and we'll continue next time. I think we need to work on the exercise. So we need exercise video.
I agree.
For you
I
guys.
agree.
We need to stay in shape. God bless you, and have a great day. Bye bye.
Thank you.